the initial turbo lift that you see when you enter the room. We need to make it go from visible to invisible. So we will select this component complete. That will give us the trigger menu, and so essentially this is letting us interact with this object to make it disappear. We'll say go to deck 2, if I spell it correctly. Now for the wall, which will appear, or which we want to appear, when you hit that same turbo lift, we need to select component complete and check the name of it. That is turbo lift number 6. We look around until we find number 6. There it is. Now, same thing with this new turbo lift. Alright, there's number 6 again. Now these walls over, this one over here, we need to set to this component complete again. Go to deck 4. We'll need to set these to component complete, this time for turbo lift number 7. Easier to do this by the name of the object rather than trying to find it on the map, because as you can see it gets a little crowded on the map when you're doing this. And we'll do a little test. We'll see what we came up with. Important to do tests early and often. There, that one looks good. We have a little mistake here. This common mistake is I actually put the wrong trigger. We wanted it to go from invisible to visible, and I set it to go from visible to invisible. So we will reverse that now so that when you hit the turbo lift, that wall and that other turbo lift appear. And that is a very easy mistake to make, and one that you will also easily catch and easily fix by doing lots of tests. Alright, we have our 2 flashing doors there. We'll check door number 1. Alright. We are now on the deck 2 side of the map. You see, this would be the entrance to the hallway, if we had built one. We'll test it again, make sure the other side is working. And looks like it is. Alright, now we will build our end room. It is important that the first room and the end room are the same for both sides of the map. And that will come into play when we do our objectives. We'll need our wall piece again. Just not wall, but ship wall. There we go. And I'll put it a little closer than that. Always remember to set it the height. We'll build a bit of a smaller room than I had in the other one, just for the sake of time. I won't bother with the hallways, you guys can do that on your own. We'll need a couple of the door pieces. These are the ones with the doors that don't open. And we'll need our ending turbolift. Now I'm using the turbolift just imagining that your end objective will take you to another part of the ship or station. You could have it be different things. You could have it be like a transporter room or a shuttle bay. Just something that will transition you to whatever you want the player to do next. Now, the reason these doors are here is so that we can block off the other side of the map, depending on which side the player chooses. And we want them to go visible or invisible depending on which turbolift they choose. So, the one on the left, or the door on the left, will need to be triggered by the turbolift on the right, and the door on the right will need to be triggered by the turbolift on the left. We'll do a quick test. Now I should tell you that it is a little bit easy if you are spawning walls to trap somebody's bridge officers on the other side. Maybe you don't care about that, but if you do, make sure to give them plenty of room around where the walls are spawning. Alright, you can see that door spawned nicely. And you can't get to the other side of the map, but you can get to the end turbolift. Alright, now what we're going to do is our objectives. We will need a couple of reach markers. You can do this with essentially any type of objective, just so long as what you have is one at the beginning of the map and one at the end of the map. Because these will be the same for whichever deck you choose. Put in a reach marker. Select the right map. Don't care about the map transition, but we will need some objective text. Better text than that. This text is just, this is what will show up in the objective menu on the right side of the player's screen. So you want it to be something like, do what you need to do, then get to the end of the map. Because that is the only thing that they will see while they're doing your map. A little bit of a problem here, and this is something you'll find, is when you're doing a build like this, you also have to set altitude for your reach markers. Otherwise, your player won't trigger them. Alright, now we're going through our imaginary hallway or other rooms, what have you. And there's our reach marker at the end, and we go on to the next map. With those two objectives in place, anything you want to have the player do in between has to be done with triggers. Like you see here is my fire, and I have you put that out using only triggers. Set it to go from visible to invisible when you hit that console. You can have them talk to NPCs using the default text or pop-up dialogue, but make sure that it is not tied to an objective.